she's not paying taxes on her stuff.
So.
I had some family security business.
You did say why the
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the meeting to order and invite you to the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. So under unfinished business, I wanted to do justice to the matter that Jim brought up at the December meeting about courthouse hours of operation. Do you have anything to share?
Well, the hours, you just hit me with that like last Friday, but I think the main topic at the
You get
time.
us with it in December.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay. As I'm gonna kind of bring up to you here a little bit, I know you've enjoyed this last 2 or 3 months hammering me at meetings because I have not been there to represent and tell what's going on. I think it's interesting that whenever I'm taking care of my health, my wife's health, who was diagnosed with cancer, and we're at cancer doctors and visiting all those kinds of hospitals and oncologists and scans and PET scans and all that kind of stuff. And you still sat there and just kept throwing me under the bus. I thank you for that. She really shows character and a supposed leader. One of the biggest things we talked about, and I got some stuff here in hand so everybody can see it. Brought up about wages and how you guys just throw numbers out there with everything. And people have worked here for 30 years or longer, and how you hire somebody new, you just blow the numbers out of the water. Real good.
I'm sorry you're about hard.
Thank you. Now, I do want to pre-qualify my statements as far as with this stuff. I'm not saying that anybody on these positions is not doing their job, because they are. They are doing their jobs, and they're doing a good job. It's just to bring up the point how when you hire somebody new, nothing goes through this board. You just throw numbers out there and pay everybody. Sorry. I have redacted their names because I do not want to put anybody on the spot and embarrass anybody. Because as I've said, anybody who is working for the county right now and doing their jobs, they're doing a good job. They're working. They're doing good. But I'd just like to show where our accounts payable and finance director were working. Both were pushed out of the office, and it took 4 people to replace them. Okay? they were being chastised because they weren't getting stuff done. Well, they were doing a lot of extra jobs. The biggest one that I really like with that part is a couple of years ago here in front of the press, when they hired a new CFO who was doing a good job, they said that we would be saving money by using that position. In 2023, Susquehanna Advisors, we paid $155,641 for them for services. In 2024, we only spent $76,330. If you add the CFO's wages to that, which it works out to a little over 101,000. Okay, it's in that area because her pension and stuff, she does not take insurance, but would get paid a little bit of a stipend there. It's 177,930 we're paying. It's costing the county $22,000 and change for something we were told was going to save money for. Okay. We have in the GIS department, a guy worked there for 12 years. Was getting $23.10. Brought a new guy in and paying him $23.55. Started out with no experience. Chief assessor, who was in there in the office, was in 1872. The new chief assessor is making $25.55. VA assistant was making $14.61, and the director was making $16.05 an hour. The new VA, the VA assistant, or the VA director before was making $20.64. The VA director now is making $25.38. Okay. Economic department of development. The old director was making $24.87. Brought in a new director who's making $31.27. This district attorney admin, it's not as bad. It was $15.42. They brought in the new person, it was $15.50. The one person who was there on call time had been there for 30 years, was receiving $175 a week on call pay. The new person come in, they got $225 a week on call pay. So I think I said about this happening, and I think here's about as much proof as you need, showing all the different hours and showing the situations.
What's this have to do with the hours of operation?
We discussed that time about this, and you was made fun of me about this the whole time, about the hours and everything else. The actual hours of operation, I have to say, is going to be a little bit time coming because I was talking to my attorney, okay? And he's actually in the process, I don't know if you guys have been served yet or not, but he's in the process of giving you papers to sue you guys for the ordinance. Didn't know quite where that's at, but he's been working on that, and he will get back on this stuff later. For the most part right now.
Good. You give me a lot to work with, Jim. It's gonna be, this may be time consuming. So you don't have anything to offer with regard to the allegation you made back in December that we were inhibiting the county's hours of operation because of a private email I sent to the sheriff regarding his management of the office manager.
I really don't even know what you're talking about.
I know you don't know what I'm talking about, and just because I thought maybe you might forget, I came prepared. I have copies of the email that you referenced that day. Refresh yourself. This email I sent to the sheriff back in November. I brought to his attention that the office manager is supposed to work, pass it around, please, is supposed to work 35 hours a week, and that the sheriff routinely pays her 37.5 hours a week. That is after you voted for giving her a 50% raise a year ago. And you made reference, and I hope this is starting to come back to you. You made reference to the fact that there wasn't any way that the sheriff's office could operate unless we permitted him to act outside of the action of the salary board. So that set her at 35 hours. That was your point. That was an email I sent professionally just to the sheriff to bring to his attention. You brought it out in a public forum. So
And if you look at this email, my name's not on there, received it or.
yet you had, because you made reference to it, because you specifically said,
Well, sometimes somebody makes a comment about an email sent, it still doesn't mean I know what all was in it.
you said in public in December that you knew about it.
That whole process is nothing of what I was arguing about for us being open over the due time hour.
Is that the first time you ever seen that email?
Yeah, I would have.
You
to
never
admit,
saw that email before?
I do not believe so, no.
You never saw
I do not believe so.
it? Okay. Well, now we do. We're all refreshed on it. Let me go back to a couple other things. So you have this, I don't know, you've given me so much to work.
Well, my whole argument.
No, you're all done.
The whole
So
argument.
you laid
the
out
whole
these
argument At the
issues.
time was that county code said we had to be open over the lunchtime hour. That was my whole argument.
Where is it?
I told you, he's working on
He's
the
working.
lawsuit against you guys and.
So you're gonna use county taxpayer money to sue the county commissioners who have to use county taxpayer money to defend the suit because the county has to be open over lunch hour, which it is. What problem are you trying to solve? Other than we have too much money in the bank, you as the treasurer,
We
and
don't
then
have
you're
too much
taking it
money in
upon
the bank.
yourself to deplete those
I've been telling
funds.
you guys, we're in the red for the last 2 or 3 years, and this year you finally put a 1 mil tax, increase in there. The only reason we have been able to keep out of the red is because the $5.5 million sitting in there from the COVID funds. Been born into that to try to get us through the first of the year. When
Okay,
you guys took in, when you started in the office, we had over, not counting the 5.5 million, we had a little over $2 million surplus that got us through from January to March. That is way all gone, and we are in the wagon ruts in the toilet, trying to make it through.
thank you, Mr. Treasurer. We're gonna come back to that in just a moment, but I have to finish chewing this one up first. So let's go back to this document that our treasurer just shared with all of you. Explain to me which one you voted against.
I didn't vote against any of them.
Why? Because it's
at
an
the
egregious
time-
waste of money,
No, because
they're out of line
time,
in your argument.
Because
Why-
at the time, the wages are never set, we're just gonna start off at whatever wage.
So why
Nothing's
suddenly
ever
do you
said-
have
Nothing
this?
is ever said about the old person was making this wage, we're gonna start this person off at $10 an hour more, or whatever.
What's your
I
role
would
here?
never vote for
What's
that.
your role here on the salary board?
Try to keep things straight and to bring out the dollars and cents when it
And
is.
so point your finger at yourself. If you're saying something wasn't done appropriately or correctly, you sat at this table, voted in favor of every one of those. And now you sit here and find fault with it. Let me continue. So you make reference to the chief financial officer. You make reference to the former staff that was here. You're the treasurer. You're responsible for the finances of this county.
Mhm.
Tell me about the $130,000 fine this county was going to get from the Internal Revenue Service. Tell me about it.
I don't see those.
No, your recollection once again is failing you.
I did not receive those.
No, let me help you with that. The vaunted people whom you were just defending brought upon this county $130,000 in fines.
Mhm.
Why? Because we weren't remitting our quarterly reports. Where is the treasurer's office in all of this effort? Aren't you responsible for something to do with the money here? No, you're not responsible to do
I'm
with the
not
money.
responsible
So
for
let me
anything
continue.
with
No,
the tra-
you
No, I
talked
am not
over, you
responsible
talked
for
over
the
me 3
transfer.
times.
I am
We're
not
done.
responsible for the
You will
transfer.
not talk
By
over
county
me
code,
one
I
bit.
am only
And that
allowed.
lady who you criticized
I did not criticize
saved
her.
us $130,000
I did not criticize her. I
just
agreed
in
all five and
fines.
said they're all
Let me
doing a
ask
good
you
job.
my next question. My next question is, why why did this county not remit its earned income tax for 7 years?
I
I don't know. I
have
don't
idea.
know why
That's
we
not my
didn't do that.
department.
How
It's
did that
not
get
my
fixed?
department.
The person that you said isn't saving us money found it and solved it. It is a bonus that we get the reduction in cost from Susquehanna just because of the work she does. The
Mhm.
fact of the matter is, our finances are finally in some kind of comprehensible manner and form. But the treasurer doesn't know anything about it. The treasurer doesn't have anything to do
The
with it.
treasurer.
The chief financial officer has to come
The
and tell you.
treasurer transfers the
Well,
money.
I'm not done.
Told them how much to transfer and
Because
where to transfer.
I
it
bring
to.
my homework to, school. So let's talk about your office last October. What happened in your office last October? Tell me about your office.
Not really sure what
It's
happened.
probably, yeah, you're not sure.
That would be about the time we're trying to get ready to get dog license.
Yeah, you were
stuff out.
trying to get rid of dog licenses. You know what you weren't doing? You weren't sending in the federal withholding tax. And you know what else you weren't doing? You weren't reconciling our books. The chief financial officer, outside of her duty and scope, is reconciling our accounts. Found and discovered, oh, look, go ahead, roll your eyes.
No,
And
my
you had
deputy
no idea.
treasurer reconciles every month.
Don't have to throw your deputy treasurer under the bus.
Every month
Don't
we
do it.
reconcile the book.
Don't do it. So you'll explain to me why in my hand is this document showing $67,954.34 sent to the federal government that somehow didn't get there. And how is it discovered? Is it because your office reconciles every month? No, it was because the chief financial officer discovered it because she was going outside her lane to help your office in the last 2 weeks, brought it to your attention, it was corrected. Thank you. Thank you for having an interest in our finances.
Well,
Your office does not
I thank her
reconcile.
for doing that because that is part of her job to catch that stuff. We catch mistakes back and forth all the time. Probably what happened is the last click didn't happen on that day when that happened. And if you look at that in the last 20 years, it's never happened before.
It's only a $68,000 mistake. It's just money, right? You don't have any responsibility for that.
Do you know how many mistakes the treasurer's office has helped fix up here when payrolls been screwed up, when people haven't got paid, when,
I can't speak to the past. I can only tell how many mistakes that have been corrected since I've been here
Mhm.
from up here that are caused downstairs.
That happened when you've been here too. And as you, the head officer, you,
I'm sure you,
inherit all the things from the past.
yes, they're all mine, back from 1804 on. Thanks,
Yep.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yep,
They're
they
all
are.
my mistake. Thank you.
That's part of
And
being
how-
the head chair.
Yep, that's right. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So, while we're talking about things of the past, now I feel like I have properly and adequately adjudicated both your issue that you brought up, your role in participating in, and undermining the credibility of your entire argument with regard to you trying to act like you're innocent of it, and then trying to find fault. And then trying to find fault with our financial operations, which are finally
I am
in
not
order.
trying to find fault. I told
Finally
everybody before I
in order.
started, everyone was doing a good job. Everybody. We have caught their mistakes, they've caught our mistakes. That's part of doing work. Nobody is perfect.
So let me come,
Nobody is perfect on that, and we have caught mistakes for each other back and forth. I've done many extra transfers for payroll, many extra bank transfers for payroll, extra FICA transfers for payroll, because mistakes were made up here. It happens. It
right,
happens, and we make it good at the end of the day, and normally we're in good shape.
and as you pointed out, I'm responsible for all the mistakes that have taken place in the last 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, fine. We'll take my 5'8" stature and my broad shoulders and put them there. Let's go back to something else you said. You acted and claimed innocence and threw on the table all the tales of woe of your physical issues and used that as an excuse. Yet you come to my meetings. You come to the meetings over which I am responsible and I preside, and you cast out accusations and then leave. You promised to bring
These are not
evidence.
accusations. These
You
are
have
facts of
done
what's
this
happening.
since I've been the chairman, time and again. Let me give you another illustration. In the December meeting, You defamed and disgraced the probation department. Accused them of, oh, go ahead, go ahead, keep that look, because if you think I don't have ammunition in the barrel, I have it right here. So I'm gonna finish my
No,
comment
that's fine.
before you, yeah,
That's fine.
I'm glad you stopped rolling your
I
eyes.
did not defame, I asked a question.
You didn't.
as to what? I was asking a question. as
You're
to
crawling
what
out on a
happened.
branch, my friend.
I
You are
asked
crawling
questions,
out on a branch.
and afterwards, I believe it was Chad, left me know what was going on and what happened.
Oh, what was the question? Tell me the question. Okay, we're gonna go on your branch. What was the
It was
question?
basically as to why the probation officers were doing all the transfers and going to wherever and bringing them people back to the jail.
Yeah,
When the sheriff's office had been doing it and was doing it for cheaper. I asked that question multiple times
multiple times.
and no one ever would answer me.
No.
After the meeting, Chad said, no, the judge put out a court order to it. Okay, then that's fine.
That's funny.
But
That question.
nobody would ever tell me
No,
that.
no one would ever answer that question. I know you've been going after that probably for decades. No one would
No.
answer that question. However, here's the questions you actually asked that day. These are the statements you actually made that day. That question wasn't part of it. After you found out that the court ordered it, then you changed it to your question. Let me refresh your memory once again.
Please do.
I will. Why is the sheriff's office taking off extraditions when he claimed, he being you, that they could do the work for at least 20 to 25% cheaper? He said he's being told that members of the probation are traveling and staying overnight to pick up their extraditions rather than going back and coming on the same day. North said that since he's making specific accusations, he needed details, including dates, time, money, personnel events. You promised to provide that. So,
And whenever Chad told me afterwards that there was a court order in effect, that the probation was supposed to do it instead of the sheriff's office, it's taken care of.
what's taken care of?
That whole thing.
What whole thing?
I asked.
You said that they're wasting
questions.
money.
If you put it in there, it was asked in the form of a question as to why this was being done. And afterwards, I
That's
was
not what
told,
you said. You said that money was being wasted. You said the sheriff's office, I can read it again for you if you like. You said that the sheriff's office,
Please do, read that again.
I'd love to. Yeah, I have it highlighted just in case this topic came up. He is reference to you. Why was the sheriff's office taken? Why? Not
Exactly,
not to.
why?
Why?
Why was it taken? It was
Why was
asked
the
in the
sheriff's
form of
office
a
taking off
question.
extraditions
Exactly what I
when
said.
he claimed they could do the job at least 20 to 25% cheaper? He said that he's being told that members of the probation department are traveling and staying overnight to pick up their extradition rather than going back and coming the same day. Does this not suggest fraud, waste, and abuse?
That's why I asked the question, and it says right there, why is this being done? As soon as I was given an answer as why it was being done, the point was mute.
No,
The
it's
point
not.
was mute.
No, it's not
Yes,
moot.
it is.
It is not moot, and here's why.
I made no accusations. I merely asked a question. Why is this, and this being done when, this can be done here, what I feel to be cheaper? That's why we're supposed to have these boards. That's why we have this discussion. Afterwards, I was told there was a court order put down by the judge that they were to take care of it. Asked, answered, it's done. I don't have to ask it anymore. I don't have any problems with it anymore. But I asked it in the form of a question. You just reread it and said, why is this being done? That I said, why is this being done? I asked it in the form of a question that day. Why is this stuff being done? It was answered. I made no accusations. I was just merely asking questions. And thank you for reading it that way, the why.
Oh, I'm not done. You're gonna have to listen to this again later, aren't you? So, what's the purpose of bringing that up?
Is a money could be a possible money savings for the county.
Very good, thank you. So with the money savings, your argument was that the sheriff's office could do it, I can read it again, at least 20 to 25% cheaper. Is that a false statement?
No,
It's not.
I feel that could be because the sheriff's office makes this amount, the probation makes this amount. Just take the wages alone and there's a huge savings.
You don't have an issue with it.
Not when there's a court order saying that the judge says that that's what's to be done, then that's what's to be done. I don't
But if
have
the
to say.
commissioners ordered it.
Hmm?
But if the commissioners ordered it, it was a problem.
I would have, yeah, I would have,
Why?
that's why I would have questioned it.
Why?
Because then I have a say as to why is this extra money being spent?
So if the judge orders it, it's okay, but if the commissioners order it, it's a waste of money?
The judge is the judge.
The judge is the judge, the
Yep.
commissioner is the commissioner, the salary board is the commissioner, salary board, the treasurer is the treasurer. You said that the probation office is wasting money. That doesn't change.
No, I asked questions,
Let me
why
read this.
is this being done? And being done that way, it is a waste of money. Why is it being done that way?
So,
Once I was told that there was a court order in effect of doing it, that whole point goes mute.
no, it doesn't go moot.
Yes, it
It
does.
doesn't go moot because your accusation is that the probation office is wasting money.
I was not, it was not an accusation, it was a question. You read it. Why is this being done instead of this and this and this?
When
And if
they
this
claim
person,
that
and
they
if this
could
person
do the
does it,
work
it
for
was,
at least
yeah,
20 to 25% cheaper.
exactly.
Is that a lie?
No, I said that, that's fine.
So if the judge orders it, it's okay, but if the commissioners order it, it's a problem. Are you intimidated by the judge?
No. I
Yes,
just
you
know-
are,
Oh,
because
crap.
you had an issue until you found out the judge ordered it.
Because when
The
the
judge
judge
would
does,
like to know
when
if
the
there are
judge, when
problems.
the judge says something, it's the law. When he does a court order, it's the law. You don't go against the court order.
You said that they're wasting money. You
I
accused
asked,
probation
why is
officers
this
of wasting
being,
money.
I asked, why? You read it yourself twice. Why is this being done and this and this and this and this way is costing more than doing this? Why is it being done that way? That was in the form of a question, and it was asked afterwards, and I was told what it was. And I answered, and I said, okay, we're good. The court order takes care of it.
So who ordered it have to do with whether money's being wasted?
Because the judge ordered it, and I'm not going to go after the judge for any reason. I'm not
No,
going to
you're
sue.
not.
I'm not.
I'm
gonna
glad
sue
you're not
him.
intimidated by it.
No, I'm
No,
not.
no, you're not. You're just not gonna deal with anything that the judge ordered. Because the judge ordered it, you're not gonna touch it, but he doesn't intimidate you.
No, he
The
does
judge
not.
would want to know if there's an issue. Do you know that there's an issue? You said you did. You used numbers. You said that they're wasting 20 to 25% of the money.
If you add up what the sheriff's deputy's making, if you add up what the probation officer's making, there's a huge difference in pay. Just that part alone would make it, but if it's the judge, by the part that's supposed to be handled through the courts, not through the sheriff's office, then that's fine. He puts a court order out there, this is how it's supposed to, then that's what it is. The issue's over.
So how did the judge react when you were able to acquaint him with the proof to support your position?
I don't know, because I talked to Chad, told me afterwards that it was a court order
Uh-huh.
put into effect, so
So what
the court
about,
order takes care of it.
what about the apology for the probation department?
I don't think I need to apologize.
I think you do.
I asked it in the form of a question. Why is this being done when this can be this thing and this can be that thing? It was all in the form of a question. It was not in the form of an accusation. The first letter, the first word in the statement is, why is this being done this way?
And the question is asked, why is the money being wasted?
Mm-hmm.
Not who, which is the actual correct form to ask that question. Who ordered it? Yet you didn't ask who, you asked why money was being wasted. But when you found out who ordered it, suddenly this is something that's not of interest to the treasurer.
It's out of my hands.
Do something about it. You're responsible for the money.
I can do nothing about it.
Why can't you inform the judge of the information you have? Just like you're supposed to inform me of the evidence you have, or the information you have on when officers are going to be open or closed. Or back in August, when you said that you had some information about what was wrong with our safety ordinance. We're still waiting for that.
You will be, you've already seen it.
I haven't seen anything. I gave you
I
20
have-
minutes
I
in a
have the
public
copies-
meeting
I have
to
the
explain
copies- I have the
yourself. You
copies
made
of
no
the email.
sense whatsoever.
I have the copies of the email that you guys sent back through the county solicitor stating that you were gonna do nothing with that ordinance and everything was okay.
Tell me what's wrong with it.
Number one, 1620, right?
1620
You have
land.
you
What is
have
wrong with
no authorization to hire or fire or discipline anybody in my office.
Show me the part, we played this game 4 months ago.
Mhm.
I sat here for 20 minutes, let you go chapter and verse, said, please show me the section in the ordinance that says that.
That part
You
was, that
could
part
not
was all mailed to
find
you
it.
guys through your solicitor.
You could not
within the
find
last
it.
2 weeks.
It is 12 noon on March the
That, all that
25th.
information
I'm
was
still
sent to
waiting
you
to
guys.
see it.
That's
Show
all.
me.
Then you better talk to your solicitor, because it was
I'm
all
asking
sent
you.
to That's
You
how
wanna-
it was through.
You want to bring lawyers into this and you want to waste taxpayer money.
Well,
To
the part
discuss
is, if
what?
I don't take care of this now, 20 years from now, you take a, commissioner tries to go in and take an office out, take somebody's, employees out, you're gonna have a heck of a lawsuit then.
You're not going to have a lawsuit because you're protected. It's in chapter 1620 of the county code.
And that ordinance says that you have the right that you can
It
do it.
does not. We
Yes, it
sat
does.
here.
Right.
I begged you to
Like
show
I
me.
said, the court papers are coming, you'll see
No,
them.
your court papers.
They
The
will be
taxpayers of Jefferson County will be well pleased to see this end.
coming. They will
Well
be.
pleased.
Well pleased.
When I say this, we're talking about two different things. Do you have anything else?
Not really.
Anything else under unfinished business? Okay, let's jump into our section 3. And we'll consider a motion to establish the position of Assistant Information Services Director at an annual salary of $47,000. That person will be exempt. I'll second. Any discussion? Questions or comments? Okay, we'll need a roll call, please.
Mr. North,
Yes.
Mr. Hume,
Yeah.
Mr. Van Steenberg.
Yes.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, we'll consider a motion to establish one additional 911 dispatcher that's non-exempt as a 12-hour shift employee. I'll second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, could we have roll call, please?
Mr. North,
Yes.
Mr. Hume,
Yes.
Mr. Van Steenberg.
Yes.
Next, we'll consider a motion to establish 2 assessment department data collector positions at a rate of $15.50 an hour. They're non-exempt at $120. Second. Any discussion? Okay, could we have a vote, please?
Mr. North.
Yes.
Mr. Hume. Mr. Van Steenberg.
Lastly, we will consider a motion to convert the finance department staff accountant payroll coordinator from non-exempt to exempt, effective April 6, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Any discussion, comment, or question? Hearing none, could we have a vote?
Mr. North.
Yes.
Mr. Hume.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Steenberg.
Yes.
Is there any other business? Okay, have we answered every question since the beginning of time? The satisfaction of the press. Do you have any questions, Patty?
Just, what's the difference in non-exempt?
Oh, think hourly and salary. So exempt is salary.
I have one, unfortunately. On number 3,
Yeah.
the 2 assessment department data collector positions. 2 weeks ago, we had that very long discussion on LERTA, and assessment was one of the things brought up. Is this step forward towards that, or is it something else?
No, it's something different. So and I'm glad you brought this up because it's worthy of a little bit of a deeper discussion. The way the assessment office has been arrayed for a long time, you have a chief assessor and then you have field assessors. Field assessors have to be licensed. So along with their training and all the things that they have to go through to be field assessors and to maintain their credentials, it comes with, of course, there's higher costs associated with that. What our chief assessor has advised us as a reasonable alternative and a cost-effective way forward Our data collectors don't have to be licensed, in essence. So they're at an appropriately different wage rate because of that. And if the data collectors can go to the field, get the technical data that the assessment office needs without us paying for a certified assessor, then that's the purpose behind it. So it's a means to accomplish their mission with a different personnel.
Okay.
Do justice to that, Joe?
Yeah.
Kind of shaking your head like,
Yes.
like it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the average, I would just throw in there, the average assessment, take tax time out, assessment office size in a class 6 county is 7. We are doing 38,000 parcels and 40,000 911 addresses with 2 people. I'm trying to properly staff a department that has been understaffed for years. The average age of a building permit that I've been on in the last year is 6 years old. $1.2 million houses have been assessed in 3 years. I'm trying to have staff to be able to assess property to hit the tax rate.
Appreciate it. You just,
That was the piece of this.
okay. Anything else?
Absolutely not.
I actually do have a question.
Yes.
Part of the conversation under the unfinished business was in prior years, we incurred fines and costs of $130,000. We didn't incur them because Jessica took care of that issue. Do we know what the fines and penalties are gonna be for the failure to remit the federal withholding tax?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It's already been remitted back.
But we don't know.
What the worst case scenario, we charge them $20 interest. Worst case.
Okay. Well, we'll hope for the best. Like Tanya said, $130,000 fine. Jessica was able to communicate with IRS and relieve the county taxpayers of that burden. So thank you for that. And thank you for closing the loop on that. And hopefully there was no damage from this other issue. We'll hope for the best. Anything else? Anything more? You have some? Karen? No. All right. We'll consider a motion to. Okay. I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, he does it pretty well. Yeah. He gets along with our people in our office anyway.
No
better.
Oh, yeah.
And they're up front, and then CIS.
Yeah.
I can't take a front.
I look like I need a friend.
This
They're going like, he's gonna 5 miles an hour. And I'm gonna.
I don't know if I was gonna bust out.